right, good morning, good morning. We are officially live. Time is 3 a.m. Monday morning. What's up, Ty? It's 3 a.m. Today is Monday, July 27th. And it's hard to believe this week is actually Ty. Dang, I just thought about it. Birthday week. Ty. What's up, brother? I'm up here like, yo, it's birthday week. I didn't even realize July birthdays was happening. Happy birthday, brother. We got to catch up, man. What's up, Facebook family? Good morning, good morning. I ain't even count my own birthday anymore, man. So I'm sorry. That's crazy. Oh, man, time flies, time flies. What's up, Auntie? I see you on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, let me know. Drop a note in the comments. Yes, sir, Ty. Definitely, man. We got to catch up. Definitely. We definitely got to catch up. I'll call you this week. If you're watching on Instagram, drop a note in the comments so I know that you're on. If you are on Facebook, drop a note so I know that you're on. I like to give it just a couple minutes. Let everybody get themselves together. Get the sleep out their eye. Right, wash their face a little bit. Roll over. I know some of y'all still in the bed. I ain't gonna lie, the way this baby got me going, I'd still be in the bed too, man. I'm tired. I got up this morning. I'm like, man, I'm surprised I'm still knocking these 3 a.m.s out on Monday, because it's a lot tougher with with having the baby and having to get up at different times to feed the baby and everything. So I'm actually proud of myself that we still going strong. So if I gotta run out, if I gotta end the 3 a.m. club early, if I gotta end it abruptly, that means the baby is she's woken up and she is ready to be fed, and she's relatively easy to take care of. But if you are late on her food, she is going to let you know. So we try to make sure we are on time. All right. So let's see, it's 3:03. Again, if you are watching, drop a note in the comments so I know you're watching. Let me know what you're doing. I know some of you had to set an alarm for this. I appreciate it. You definitely got to set an alarm if you're getting up this early. Sometimes the body catches it, sometimes the body doesn't. But if you are just starting to establish the discipline of getting up a lot earlier, you definitely have to set that alarm, as a backup. And sometimes I'm up naturally. Sometimes I need that alarm. And sometimes you got to set more than one alarm, right? Like I got an alarm that goes off at 2 a.m. I got an alarm that goes off at 2:30. I got an alarm that goes off at 2:45. And sometimes, like tonight, I actually was up at 1. I got up at let's see, I was late on the 11:30 feed, and I got up about 12:05. I was up with her feeding until about 1:15. Put her back down, went to sleep, got back up about 2:30, 2:35. So, all right, so it's 3:05. I'm giving everybody enough time. Let's jump into it. I don't know how much I'll talk today. I usually try to prepare, the opening, the point, and the closing. But today I thought I'd talk a little more freehand. So welcome to The 3 a.m. Club. Welcome to the Monday, July 27th edition of the 3 a.m. Club. This is the club for the grinders, the hustlers, the entrepreneurs, the people who are just out here working and trying to level up in their life. They're trying to get to that next level, and they are focused, they are hungry, they are determined to put in the work, to make the sacrifice, and to start their week off strong. So I like to get in Monday mornings and really just try to give you some type of insight, some type of perspective, some type of tip, some type of trick, anything I can do to help you on your weekly grind. And getting out here, actually waking up on Monday mornings, whatever time you wake up, getting your day started at 3 a.m., I can guarantee you that you are far ahead of not only the competition, but you're far ahead of the old you. Right. And I'll talk about that today a little bit, the old you versus the new you. But as you continue to reinvest and as you continue to get up, every single week, every morning that you get up early, you are establishing a new precedent for who you are. Outside of course, you are putting yourself in a much further position in terms of the people who are starting their day. Now, there are some people, I got some friends who are just ending their day, and they take that night shift and they work those late hours. So it's a little bit different, but nonetheless, you are getting a head start on the day. And if you can stay focused for, the next 3, the next 4, the next 5 hours, the world doesn't really start to wake up until around 7 and 8 a.m. And it really doesn't start to get buzzing until 11 a.m. So if you are up at 3 a.m., congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. Now figure out, what am I going to do with this time now that I'm up at 3 a.m. Now today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the reality that change and growth is inevitable, right? Change and growth is inevitable. It is going to happen. You're going to change whether you want to or not. You are going to grow whether you want to or not. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, how you change and how you grow is where the difference comes in terms of what the ultimate outcome is going to be. Now, I think this was back in June, and I'll have to pull this one up, or you can search on my Instagram, or you can search on, actually, I don't even think this one is on Instagram. This was before I had the studio set up to do Instagram and Facebook Live at the same time, but I did one back in June, and I talked about laying more seeds. And I was talking about when I actually was basically putting down seed and fertilizer in the front line, and that was about 2 months ago. So I hadn't really paid a lot of attention to how the lawn had responded. I paid attention, the first couple of weeks, because I was watering everything, and after a couple of weeks, I didn't really see the growth that I was expecting to see. I laid a lot of seed, I laid a lot of fertilizer, and I was expecting this this big regeneration in the front line, and it didn't quite happen. So 2 months go by. I haven't really thought about it. Sometimes I cut the grass, sometimes I don't, right? Sometimes we have somebody come out and cut it, sometimes I have to cut it. It depends on if the timer works out versus when we can get somebody out versus when the grass needs to be cut. So anyway, yesterday I cut the grass, and while I was cutting the front, I'm just zooming on the lawn. I got my headphones on, and I'm not really thinking much about it. And I realized that there were some new strands of grass that I hadn't really noticed before. It's like, this is a new strand of grass. It's a little bit longer. It's a little bit, greener. Because I basically, as I'm reseeding with an entirely new lawn. And as I'm mowing, I thought to myself, I said, wow, the grass actually took, the seed actually took, the fertilizer actually took. And I was expecting, right? I had this expectation because I put the work in, I laid the seeds, right? When you lay seeds, you don't know what seeds are going to germinate. And I talked about that, in that 3 a.m. club. You don't know what's going to germinate, but you have to lay more seeds, right? You have to continue to lay these seeds because some won't take. The birds are going to eat some up, whatever the case may be. But in the process of laying the seeds, in the process of actually doing the work, you cannot have an expectation of what that harvest is going to be. If you set yourself up for having this huge expectation for what the harvest is going to be, you might actually be disappointed, right? Like I was disappointed. I was expecting, oh man, I don't put all this work in. I've been laying all these seeds, and I'm expecting, this broccoli, this broccoli forest to pop up, and that's not what happened. And so I was disappointed. But in the process of that, I ignored the fact that no matter what, something is going to happen, right? Something is going to change. Something is going to grow, and I completely ignored the fact that there was growth. I completely ignored the fact that there was change because my eyes were so set on, this vision of what I expected it to be, or what I thought it should have been. And so when I finally, got back to actually focusing on the grass and actually mowing it, I realized that there had been a significant amount of growth. There had been a significant amount of change in the lawn. I was just too blind to actually see the change that had happened over, a period of time. So when you're laying those seeds, when you're putting in, that work, there is going to be some type of change. There's going to be some type of growth. I'll give you another example. Our baby girl is getting big, man. She's getting big. And when she was born, she was only 3 pounds and 10 ounces. Last time we had her weigh, she was almost over 8 pounds. And last couple of days, my wife has been saying, man, she's getting so big. She's getting so big. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, man, you're right, right? Like we're studying her. We're studying her face. We're studying her arms. We're studying her legs. We're studying, her feet. And it's like, wow, she is getting bigger. But because you're so close to the situation, sometimes it's hard for you to see that growth because I didn't, I see it, but I'm not seeing it as much. And my wife is reminding me, she's like, man, look at the pictures, look at the pictures, look at the pictures. And I'm like, wow, she has gotten bigger. Like it's crazy, right? So over time, there has been growth, and we've been feeding her on time. These 2 a.m.s, these 5 a.m.s, these 11:30 a.m.s, I'm putting in that work. We're putting in that work. We're making the sacrifices, and we're providing, the food. We're providing the love. We're providing the nourishment, and there's change and there's growth, as a byproduct of that. But it takes, you stepping back sometimes from the situation, from you actually stepping back and taking a look and looking back where things were, where things have come from, in order for you to see the change and the growth that has happened. So what I really want to talk to you about today, I tell you these stories to really bring back the fact that no matter what is going on, no matter where you are right now, no matter how things look, there has been growth, there has been change. Now, the amount of change, the amount of growth is dependent upon the amount of work that you have put in. But nonetheless, there has been growth and there has been change. And one of the things that we always have to decide, right? We always have to decide, are we going to look at the negatives of a situation, or are we going to look at the positives of a situation? And if we're going to look at both of them, how are we going to keep those in perspective so that we can take the negative, we can take the positive, and we can still continue, to move forward. So wherever you are, take some time to sit back and say, where have I come from? Right? Like I was thinking about that, man, the last 2 years I've been on this crazy grind. And when I look at where I am now, and I'm like, man, I'm not quite, I'm not here. Like I still have this, all this work that I still have to put in, and, I'm tired, man, but I got to keep going. Right. But then when I look back a year ago, and I look at 2 years ago, I look at, the things that I've been able to create, the things that I've been able to put into place, and the seeds, right, that I've been laying, and I'm expecting, this massive harvest, this massive growth of broccoli trees, and whatever that looks like in terms of the results of the work that I've been put in. And so in my mind, not seeing, certain aspects of the growth can be discouraging. But when I step back, right, when I step back and I take a look at, whether it's looking at the pictures, or whether it's looking at the goals, or whether it's looking at the vision, or even looking at the, the people in my circle, or the people in my network, whatever the case may be, I can see the growth. I can see the harvest. I can see the results of all of that work that I've put in. So sometimes we have to step back. We have to look at, where we've come from. We have to look at the change that has happened, because no matter what, something has changed, right? Something has changed. There has been some amount of growth. Now, just in the same respect where I can point out the positives, I can also point out the negatives, right? Like, one of the negatives is I haven't reached my physical fitness goals that I have set out, that I wanted to have accomplished. Actually, my birthday is Friday. I had a vision of how I wanted to be physically, by my 35th birthday this time last year. And I haven't reached that. But right, there's positives. I'm in much better shape. Oddly enough, I'm in much better shape than I was last year in a lot of different metric areas. And so looking at that, I took a step back and I said, man, look at where you've come from, right? Look at where you are now. Now, knowing that I'm not where I want to be at 30. I ain't gonna tell y'all my age, but I'm sorry. That's how you know you're getting old. You don't want to publicly tell your age. But anyway, as my birthday comes up Friday, I'm able to see, okay, in this particular area, I'm not where I want to be. And if I'm honest with myself, right? If I'm like honest with myself, I did not put in the level of work that is required in order for me to see the results of where, I expect it to be. So what can I do about that, right? How can I change that? How can I implement a plan of action to help me get to where I want to be? And in this particular case, there was a realization that I could not get there on my own. I need help, right? Like, I need help. I can take myself so far, but there are certain places that I cannot take myself because I have, right, complacency. I have limiting thoughts. I have limiting beliefs, right? I have a lack of focus, right? I have a lack of discipline. Like, these are things that we have to be honest about ourselves in terms of what's preventing us from growing, what's preventing us from developing, right? What's preventing us from getting to that next level in our life. We have to be able to self-assess the growth and the change, and then self-assess the growth and the change in terms of whether it has moved us forward or whether it has moved us backwards, or whether we are just literally moving, from side to side and not really moving forward. And then with the change and with the growth, whether it's positive or whether it's negative, right? To keep in perspective of where we've come from and where we're going. There's really never any end destination, right? Like, even if you reach your destination that you have established for yourself, whatever that may be, like in the example I just gave in terms of my physical fitness, right? Like, even when I reach that quote unquote destination, like, I'm still not done, right? Like, it still has to be maintained, right? And then even as it's being maintained, there's still going to be other avenues and other ways in which I can grow, in my physical fitness, in my, physical presence, and in my physical being. So no matter what the destination is, there's still going to be work that has to be done. So what happens when you get to that point, right? Now you have to establish new goals, right? New plan of action and all that type of stuff. But again, no matter what, there's change, there's growth. It may be positive, it may be negative, it may be neutral, but your ability to step back, to see what has changed, to see where the growth has been, to see what you need to do, to help you to continue to move forward. And most importantly, find appreciation, right? Find appreciation and gratitude for the change that you have made and the growth that you have made, no matter whether you view it as a positive or as a negative, right? Like, still being content, still being happy, and appreciating the fact that your level of maturity has increased and you have grown in perspective to be able to take the time, right? To take the time to actually sit down, to reflect, right? To write down, to jot down, and to analyze and architect the person, you are, the person you are becoming, and the person that you want to be. So that's 19 minutes, 17 seconds. We'll go ahead and call it a wrap for today's 3 a.m. club meeting. I appreciate you all for making the sacrifice to get up to log on at 3 a.m. I hope that this gives you any type of perspective or insight as you start your week. And I hope that you take the time to look back and see where have you come from. And that time span might be 2 years, it might be 5 years, it might be 15 years, right? I can look back over the last 20 years and see, wow, I've really come a long way. And there are aspects of me, me and my wife were just laughing about this, like, man, I can remember being this age and I can't believe I was doing this, or I can't believe that life was like this, whatever the case may be. So whatever that time frame is for you that you need to stretch it out for, stretch it out, find your perspective, find your areas of growth, find your areas of change, find the areas where you can still improve, and then devise a plan of action that is going to allow you to continue to advance in that particular area and to advance in your life journey. Find somebody that can hold you accountable, find an organization, a group, whatever the case may be, because sometimes we have to step outside of ourselves in order to be able to get to that next level in our life. So again, I appreciate you all for logging on. If there's anything I can do to help you in terms of your growth and your development, just hit me up. Log on to my website. I didn't put the website in there, but it's Kevin, S as in Sam, Breckenridge, my last name.com. Holla at me if you need some coaching. I got different packages to help you out, all budget levels. And I want to see you get to the next level just as much as I want to see myself get to the next level. So I appreciate you all for logging on. Have a great week, and I will see you later. Peace.